Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers. Available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Far back in the mists of ancient time, in the great and glorious days of, well, the back end of the 70s, the beginning of the 80s, Doctor Who magazine was with us. Published by Marvel, and it had those great strips. The two of the greatest, of course, were the ones that started off the range. It had, as is traditional, the current TV Doctor appearing in the part. It was the fourth Doctor, and for a few of us, this was where Doctor Who really shone. Well, umpteen million years later, Big Finish have come along with the original stories and given us an adaptation or two, well, two, of the original comic strips. And what keeps me going is that this is listed as Volume 1. Oh, Frobisher could be back, but that's for another time. These are brilliant. If you liked or have any memories of the original comic strips back in the 70s, or even if you're an international listener, some of the Marvel reprints, they're just great. They are so well observed, so well written, and it is so well adapted. The first of the two stories included is Iron Legion, and it is everything that Doctor Who isn't, and yet it remains so true to its core. This had expansion, it had sweeping vistas, it was the Phantom Menace of Doctor Who, only in what it looked like. It was a quantum leap beyond your Tom Baker wandering down corridors, asking to speak to Lord Nymon, or any of the other things that were around at that time. It takes place in Stockbridge. I know, Stockbridge, oh how we miss it. And then it takes place in an alternative universe with the Roman Empire populated by robots. There are brilliant characters like Morris, the cyborg. And of course, with it being a parallel universe, you've got the same cast playing different parts. What they've done is they've taken the original story that was in the comic strips and even expanded it beyond that. Now, yes, it has a 2000 AD feel to it, but it will. Bedfellows and writers who would go on to write similar and more extortionately weird stuff. Probably the wrong use of the language, but I don't care. Great, great stories. And of course they've been adapted beautifully. I was a victim of the memory cheating as I listened to these. Oh yeah, those characters are really important. They must be in the original story. And then I discover they're not when I go back to reading about it. And that's the Iron Legion. Hello, this is the second bit of the Doctor Who comic book Adaptations review. You see, I recorded the first part, and then I think I ran out of batteries. So basically, I'm on my way back from my father-in-law's with a carload of wood because last week I lost my job. Careless of me, I've looked behind the sofa and it wasn't there. Thus is the world of the temp agency. They decide they don't want you one day, and they phone you and say, we don't want you one day. So I'm currently looking around for anything. So if you're in West Yorkshire and you know of any jobs, please feel free to email me. Especially if you know of any jobs that require somebody just to sit around and, I don't know, review old episodes of Doctor Who. That job would be ideal. It really would. No, it actually would be ideal. That's not going to happen, is it? It's not. Right, so, as you've just heard me talk about the Iron Legion. Well, now it's Starbeast. Now, Starbeast was the second of the great early Doctor Who stories from Marvel. This was, of course, before Panini ended up owning Doctor Who magazine, and it was Doctor Who Weekly.
These are the stories that feel so 2000 AD, the British comic, as to be just, well, almost as if they could have appeared in the same run. Now, Starbeast is a curious creature because it reminds me of two very separate things. Now, because I'm driving, I can't do any Google searches and checking these ones out. And I know you'll probably go away and do these anyway. But there are two very distinct storylines, and they're very, very similar. The first one is a story that appears in 2000 AD called Skiz. And Skiz is an alien craft that belongs to an ambassador, and it lands in northern England and is basically the exact same plot as E.T., only takes place in the north of England. You got it? Oh, and Skiz is a slightly more fun and less magical creature than E.T. I've got issues with E.T. That's, of course, the second thing that this story reminds me of. My issues with E.T. is right. It was okay, you're not going to arrest me for this now, but it was the first film I ever saw on a pirate VHS. There was a friend of the family called the Pars, and they had VHS players. And someone had managed to track down a copy of E.T. So I went round and I watched it, rather than doing it at the cinema. Didn't really like E.T., but I played along with it, kind of enjoyed it a bit. And then something happens in the movie that totally made me lose it. I just do not like this film from this point onwards, right? Now, I think I was a stickler for science fiction having a bit of science involved, yeah? At no point in E.T.'s movie had it been discussed that he had anything other than healing biological powers. He looks after the plant, therefore he can look after Elliot, right? I've got that, okay? The heart thing, I can kind of push to. They're part of his DNA. But when the bicycles start to fly, I'm sorry, I'm out. You lost me at that point. Some people say you had me at glowy finger. Well, you lost me at flying bikes. I absolutely hate flying bikes, right? People go, you've got no magic in your soul. Sorry, have you met me? I'm the person who has bought a wand from eBay, right? Tried to straighten it, broken it, and rather than throw it away, he's turned his Harry Potter wand, it's Malfoy's mother's wand, because it's the most Art Deco of the lot, right? And what he's done is, he's turned it into a steampunk wand. I will put pictures onto the internet, right? It's got little gauges, it's got, and this is the best bit, in the hilt, at the very end, is a gem, to give the wand extra power. But if you look closely, it's not really a gem. It's a see-through, nice, yellow, 20-sided dice. Yes, my magic wand runs on Dungeons & Dragons power. Ah. And it's a pointless thing, but you know what? I love it, and it will make me feel happy. I guess you can only stop making props for so long before they start eking out and going, I just want to make one more, just a little one. No, I've made another prop. Yeah, not good, not clever, but it is true. So, where was I? This story reminded me of E.T. and Skiz. The thing about this story, of course, is that the alien, the cutesy one, the one who is E.T., is actually evil. Who would have thunk it? Anybody who's ever watched any episode of Star Trek ever. Beautiful people are bad. The ugly people are good. Good Lord, that's such a major breakthrough. Anyone who's ever watched an episode of The Hills or Housewives of any county whatsoever will, of course, immediately identify with any of this beautiful people are evil thing. Have I said too much? Have I become too political again? Really? Just me? Oh, forget it. Anyway, that's the basic storyline that you've got going on here. You've got cute alien E.T. in a shed. They find him. Oh, he tries to make some control people. Apparently there's some monster police after them, and that's your storyline, right? It's brilliant. It's very cinematic. It would have made a great movie. And of course, on audio, the aliens look just as good as they did in comic books. I remember the pictures being brilliant. I mean, seriously well done. That thing where the mouth tentacle comes out to grab the cakes, is it, or biscuits? Either way, superb. And their glowy eyes, oh, it's such brilliant imagery. To be fair, it was definitely the gateway medication that took me towards the exciting world of comics. Yeah, that was not a healthy road to go down. Decades of Sandman and, well, John Constantine, and all of that business, collecting, making piles of stuff and rereading old things, putting massive holes in my student loans. None of it good. None of it. So, this storyline develops. You've got the police, you've got the doctor with something in his tummy, which we don't want to discuss, and so on. I don't want to spoil it for you because it's brilliant. Now, the world is, at the moment, not a very much fun place to be. It's not. You've got terrible things happening in the States. You've got psychopaths who have no idea in charge of everything, and it's our fault because we put them there, right? Well, obviously not the people who voted anyway. There are people writing to their MPs and it's achieving nothing. I did that last week, actually. For the first time in my entire life, I wrote to my Member of Parliament, begging, absolutely begging for something else to happen. And of course, when I checked how my Member of Parliament had voted, completely ignoring my email/letters. No one's going to listen to me, are they? All I want is for us all to get along and be nice to each other for a change. Oh, that'll never catch on, will it? Stronger together, weaker apart. Why not think of Brexit as a relationship? You know, Britain was having a midlife crisis and decided that it could probably make it on its own. And its wife, or its other half, or its partner said, you know what? Are you sure you want to break up? Do you not just want to have some sort of trial separation to see how things go? No, we really want a divorce. Well, see how it goes first. And they did. And it was rubbish. Will you take us back? Well, we've not actually got divorced yet, have we? And you know, we did love each other. Come on back. Have you changed your mind? Yeah, we've changed our mind. Okay then. Well, let's see if we can change things and make things better together, shall we? It's basically how it should go. It's not going to go, is it, Dick? Well, I'm going to leave you. Are you sure you want to leave? Yeah, I want to leave. You're just cutting off your nose to spite your face. Yes, I know. And I don't need my nose anyway. Is how it's going. I'm so sorry. I am so beyond sorry. I'll probably end up editing this if I remember and cut all that out. Look, I'm sorry. Great story, yes. What I was about to say was things aren't brilliant in the world, yeah? Listen to this, it'll cheer you up. It'll distract you for a while and make you a happier person. That's it. And if that's all it does, then it was worth it. The 4th Doctor's on form. We've got Sharon, the first female black companion ever, actually made flesh on audio. Brilliant. Seriously, just brilliant. And I, for one, just can't knock it. And the best thing is that this is listed as Volume 1, which means we could have the others. Bring me Frobisher, and bring me Frobisher now. So, with that, I'll fade away and let you listen to the trailer yourself while I drive over some very big mountains. So until next time, be seeing you.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, the comic strip adaptations, Volume 1.
Good evening. The news at 9 o'clock on Wednesday the 20th of February 1980.
I'm a monster.
Fudge! You're a wazzock, that's what you are. Nearly scared us to death.
M1000 CM 900 LXX1X, that's 1979. Date of manufacture, 1979. That's now!
Oh gods, how I love war. Let my Iron Legion march forever, for only through destruction am I alive. Without it, I am a dead thing.
Hyperspace jump completed. Planet Sol 3 in sight.
That is where the radiation trail leads?
It is, sir.
Then pinpoint the target. At once.
I have conquered this town, the place they call Stockbridge.
That's the last of the neck bolts, so all it needs is one good twist and a tug.
Run, Shav, run! Fudge! I think he's crying.
Don't get too close, he might have space mange.
He was bleeding, remember?
Why are they keeping us standing around? What do they want with us, Viv?
I don't know, Doc. Funny that. Still, look on the bright side. They've not shot us.
Fire! Surrender or be annihilated.
I surrender. I repeat, goodness, is that a chieftain?
I am the only chieftain here.
I meant the tank.
Ready, Polly!
Watch out, Mr. Morris! Oh, dear!
Hey, Doc, they're using backed guns on us.
Hola!
Big Finish.
I said, hola!
We love stories.
Look, whoever you are, the least you could do for a fellow whose space-time ship you've shanghaied is hola back.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.